Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day as always, as we unbelievably head into 2025. So, for this video, for those of you following the WNBA and especially wondering about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, I just want to sort of walk you through what WNBA free agency looks like, when things are going to happen, when players can talk to teams, when teams can court players, who's eligible to be cored and who isn't, and that sort of thing. So let's start digging in and talk about the dates first. We have January 11th to January 20th. Teams can make qualifying offers and core player designations. Okay. So you can only core a player twice. And what coring does is allows teams to have exclusive negotiation rights with a specific player. And of course, they will have to pay them a specific amount. Core players get offered a 1 year super max contract, which means about $294,000. So keep that in mind, especially Indiana Fever fans, when you want to look at other players that can be brought in, and you've already got Katie Lou eating up 184,000, and then I didn't even check to see if Christy Wallace is on the hook or what for. Um, and you're going to want to pay major money to any of us, the significant free agents that might be brought in here. So keep in mind, a lot of players are eligible to be cored as well. So that's going to factor in. In fact, from what I could find, the only ones ineligible to be cored are Dewana Bonner, Brittany Griner cannot be cored, Natasha Howard cannot be cored, Brianna Jones cannot be cored, Tina Charles cannot be cored, and Nneka Agumike cannot be cored. Everyone else who is an eligible free agent can be cored. Now, what you can also see, and I don't know if this is all that common in the WNBA. It does happen in other sports, but with free agents, and especially with cord free agents, I think it makes it even easier to do. Is you can do a sign and trade, which I talked about in a previous video about the Indiana Fever. So, just as an example, I'm not saying they should or will do this, but if the Indiana Fever core Kelsey Mitchell, they could have worked out a deal with another team and a team Kelsey Mitchell is okay going to, right? Maybe that's what she wants to do. And instead of not coring her and letting her go, the Fever sign her and then trade her to that team that wants Kelsey Mitchell and gets at least something back as opposed to letting a all-star player like Kelsey Mitchell just go for nothing. Now, I don't know. Kelsey Mitchell has made it very clear that she's being very unclear. We have no idea, and she could be doing it as I think it's weird to do it as a negotiating tactic with the Fever because we're talking about coring her, and I mean, she's going to get an insane amount of money, but you never know. So I don't know, but that is something that could happen with any players. Um, I believe Alyssa Thomas is also a free agent. She's someone who could be cored. She's someone who could be cored and traded. So don't know about that as far as what exactly will happen, but there you go. So very few free agents can't be cored. You also have reserve players. These are players who have 3 or fewer years of WNBA service and they're on an expiring contract. Teams have until January 20 to extend a reserve player a qualifying offer, or they do become unrestricted free agents. Um, there's something like 20 or 22 of them in the WNBA right now. January 21st, teams can begin negotiating with free agents. I know they draw out the process, don't they? And even though they can be negotiating, they can't formally sign any deals at all until February 1st. So you've got the 21st of January till February 1st where there's a free agency period, but no team can sign anybody. players can't sign with anybody, which is kind of weird. So obviously, you'll most likely see a whole bunch of signings on the first, maybe. Uh, you've got players who I just don't think are going to leave the teams they're currently on. I don't know that Brittany Griner will leave Phoenix. I don't know what their salary situation is, though, in terms of the cap. It's unlikely that Brianna Stewart is going to leave the New York Liberty. So that is probably going to be a max deal. Um, from what I see, that may even be a multi-year deal. Although, here's the other thing I should have thrown in. I mentioned this before. I don't know if there will be any multi-year deals because of the players opting out of the collective bargaining agreement. So there might not be a 2026 season. No idea what that's going to look like. All those contracts, those salaries may be scrapped because there may be a completely different salary structure, salary cap structure in 2026. So I don't know that anyone's going to sign a deal past this year. But to rattle off some of the roof, free agents, I was going to say unrestricted free agents that especially could affect the Fever is, and I know Fever fans, I see you out there, and I did it during the season. I think I started it at the All Star break when I watched Ariel Power's hilarious video about unexpectedly getting seated next to Cheryl Reeve, her former coach, on a plane on the way to the All Star game. And where Ariel sat down, Cheryl Reeve got up and left. Just, I think, see, here's the thing: set aside the Caitlin Clark stuff. I think that right there sort of sums up the vibe, the culture, the pettiness of the WNBA as a whole. Especially when you consider from everything I've seen, Ariel Powers is someone who should be a face of the league. She seems nothing but nice, nothing but upbeat, very funny, interacts with her fans, the whole thing. And then Cheryl Reeve gets up and moves seats, switches seats with someone else because she couldn't stand to sit next to Aerial Powers on a plane flight. That's wild, man. I think that sums up the WNBA right there. But like I mentioned, with Connecticut, you have Dewana Bonner, who cannot be cored. But you also have some other unrestricted free agents like Alyssa Thomas, Brianna Jones. By the way, Dejanay, sweet, sweet Dejanay Carrington is a restricted free agent. Chicago Sky have a lot of free agents. Kennedy Carter, most notable. It's been sort of icy from what we've seen, but she is restricted. Dana Evans is restricted, but Isabel Harrison is unrestricted. Brianna Turner is unrestricted. Diamond DeShields is unrestricted. And of course, as we move down the line, for a lot of you Fever fans, what you're interested in is Satu Sabali, who's unrestricted, but of course can be cored. This will blow your mind. Now they wouldn't do it because they have Enrique, but what if you had a core and sign and trade Kelsey Mitchell for Satu Sabali? And then shout out to Ben Daniel because he has fallen in love with Kennedy Carter and wants to will into existence Kennedy Carter playing for the Fever. So here's we're going with the hot take. I can't even get it out. Sign and trade core sign and trade Kelsey Mitchell for Satu Sabali, and then the Fever sign Kennedy Carter to be their shooting guard. Yes, that's right. You heard it here, folks. um, don't scream at me. I'm just having a little fun, but that would be wild if it happened, wouldn't it? And then they sign unrestricted free agent Alyssa Thomas. We know she's got love for the Fever fans. But moving on for Golden State, I mean, notable ones, you got Fag Benley. She is still a restricted free agent. And you've got Monique Billings, who is an unrestricted free agent. Of course, the Fever, they've got Kelsey Mitchell and Erica Wheeler. You can't bring back. I hate saying this because look, I like Erica Wheeler, but separating the liking from the business. I mean, Erica Wheeler's what, 30, 33. We've got Grace Berger waiting in the wings as a backup point guard. Unrestricted free agent who I think made what, 202, over 200,000 this past year. I mean, you just can't take that hit to your salary cap for a player like Erica Wheeler who, unfortunately with the timing and aging of everything is not going to be part of this upcoming Fever run unless as a coach. Bring Erica Wheeler back as an assistant coach. I'm fine by that. But look, if she wants to play, if she's got more in her to play, and the fact that she played overseas again says she does, great. Let her go sign in a good place for her where she can get some quality minutes. Sparks, Kia Nurse, unrestricted. That's the big one there. Aces, look, Kelsey Plum's unrestricted. Maybe they don't core her. Maybe she wants out because if they don't, or there's a straight up trade too. Kelsey Plum for Kelsey Mitchell. I'm not saying to do it. I think the Aces would have a little bit of an advantage on that one. Oh, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is Kelsey, I can't even say Kelsey, is Mitchell a little older than Plum? I'm not sure. But they've also got Alicia Clark as unrestricted, Tiffany Hayes unrestricted, Sydney Colson unrestricted, Egbo is unrestricted. Oh, I'm sorry, she's reserved. Minnesota Lynx, they've got Hines Allen and Natisha Heidemann, unrestricted. Liberty, of course, Brianna Stewart, but she's staying. Courtney Vandersloot, unrestricted. Burke is unrestricted. Big ones for Phoenix. Diana Taurasi's unrestricted if she comes back. Brittany Griner's unrestricted. Big ones for the Seattle Storm, as I just mentioned. Agwumike is unrestricted. So is Gabby Williams. So is Russell. So is Whitcomb. So is Holmes. So is Victoria Vivians. And don't forget, Jewel Lloyd asked to be traded. So Seattle Storm have a bit of a mess. And then Washington Mystics are in an okay situation. Walker Kimbrough is their only unrestricted free agent. So there you have it. There are a lot of the names that I just rattled off for you. And I gave you the dates just to sum up. January 11 to 20 is when teams can make qualifying offers and core player designations. Then on the 21st, teams can begin negotiating with free agents. And on February 1st, that is when players can officially sign contracts. So let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Feel free to let flow your own, hey, this is crazy, but why not type of trade. That's always fun. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know if anyone's going to see this because I'm putting it out on New Year's Eve, but have a fantastic New Year's Eve. Stay safe, all that stuff. You know the deal. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you later.